Help me hit 7,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. I never thought a simple Tuesday could feel like the final straw. My name is Oliver, 38, and I've been married to Amelia for 12 years. 12 years of shared meals, laughter, arguments that fizzled into awkward silences, and moments I once thought would last forever. When I woke up that morning, the sun streaming through the blinds, I didn't suspect that by the evening I'd be staring at my phone, heart pounding, completely unsure of what to do next. It started innocently enough. Amelia had texted me while I was finishing breakfast, "Don't call me." No explanation, no context, just those 4 words. My first instinct was panic. Not because I was afraid of what she meant, although part of me was, but because those words carried a weight I hadn't felt in years. That sharp, clean edge of dismissal that pierces deeper than any argument ever could. I didn't panic too long. I simply typed back, "Don't come home." It was calm, measured, almost boringly simple. But I wanted her to feel the same clarity I felt in that moment. If she wanted space, I would give it to her. If she wanted distance, I would match it. No yelling, no dramatics, just honesty. At first, I sat down on the couch, sipping my coffee, scrolling through the news, trying to convince myself that this was just another fight. Couples fight all the time. Couples say harsh things they don't mean. But deep down, I knew this wasn't that kind of fight. There was no apology lurking in those words. No softening. Just a command, delivered coldly through pixels. I tried to retrace the morning. Had I said something wrong? Done something she didn't like? Was it that I had forgotten to text her a good morning? Or maybe the way I'd leaned on her desk at work while talking about the car. Silly things. Insignificant things. Yet somehow they had added up in her mind to this final, pointed line. "Don't call me." I sat there, letting the silence stretch. For a few minutes, the house felt empty, but calm. The kind of calm that makes you realize just how fragile a routine can be. Then my phone buzzed again. A notification. "Amelia." Another text. My stomach sank. "Oliver. Seriously. Don't come home." I leaned back and let out a slow breath. The first spark of clarity appeared. She wasn't just upset. She wasn't just having a bad day. This was deliberate, precise, meant to draw a line between us. I didn't reply this time. I didn't need to. My next words, my next actions would speak for me. I went about my day like a man walking a tightrope. Emails, meetings, the hum of traffic outside my office window. All background noise to the storm inside my chest. I kept glancing at my phone, willing her to break the silence, to explain, to apologize. Nothing. Just quiet. By mid-afternoon, I had convinced myself that maybe this was it. Maybe the Amelia I knew. The one who laughed when I made terrible puns. The one who stayed up late watching old movies with me. The one who whispered, "I love you," when she thought I wasn't listening, had vanished into someone unrecognizable. That thought was both terrifying and oddly liberating. Then it happened. The first call. My phone vibrated against the desk, the screen lighting up with her name. My heart skipped. I didn't answer. Call 2 came 5 seconds later. Then 3. 10 missed calls before I could even gather my thoughts. My hand shook slightly as I stared at the screen. 20 calls. In 10 minutes. My chest tightened with a mix of fear, anger, and disbelief. She wasn't leaving messages. She wasn't begging. She wasn't yelling. Just rapid, persistent attempts to break through a boundary I had set as clearly as she had hers. I sat back, trying to think rationally. What was she trying to accomplish? Panic me? Force me to beg? Make me feel guilty? A thought crept in, quiet but insistent. Perhaps this is exactly what I needed. To see her reaction. To feel the energy shift. For all these years, I had been bending, accommodating, anticipating her moods, smoothing over invisible cracks in our marriage. And yet, here she was trying to break me into reacting the way she wanted. I didn't. Not yet. I let the calls roll over me, each one a pulse of her desperation, her confusion, her fury, or maybe all 3. I sat with it, letting the silence become its own answer. After a few minutes, my phone finally stopped buzzing. The calm returned, heavier this time, a quiet like the one that follows a thunderstorm. And I realized something. I didn't feel defeated. I didn't feel panicked. I felt awake, sharp, alive in a way I hadn't been in years, living under the hum of routine and expectation. For the first time in a long time, I understood that sometimes a line drawn in text is more than a message. It's a revelation. It's the start of clarity, the kind of clarity that shakes you, that forces you to confront what you've been avoiding. Who you are, who she is, and whether the two of you still belong on the same path. The next few hours passed in a strange haze. I didn't call her. I didn't text back. I didn't try to justify or explain. I simply existed in a strange, suspended reality, where every tick of the clock reminded me of the distance she had chosen and the boundary I had drawn. By the time evening came, I realized I needed to move, to breathe, to step outside this bubble of tension. I drove aimlessly, windows down, the cool breeze hitting my face, trying to shake off the weight of 12 years compressed into a single day. Thoughts swirled, memories clashing with assumptions. I thought about the mornings we spent laughing over burnt toast, the nights we stayed up planning vacations we never took, the quiet intimacy that had slowly eroded over time. And I realized something I hadn't admitted before. I had been hiding behind her moods, accommodating her frustrations, smoothing over conflicts instead of addressing them. I had allowed compromise to become a silent surrender. It was around dusk when I finally decided to check my phone again. There were more missed calls, this time almost 30, and a text thread that made my stomach twist. Oliver, why are you ignoring me? You promised we'd talk tonight. I'm coming home. My chest tightened. She was crossing the line now, trying to push, trying to manipulate. But for the first time, I didn't panic. I felt steady. I felt in control. I typed slowly, deliberately. I told you, don't come home. No exclamation marks, no emojis, no softening. Just 4 words that carried the same clarity she had tried to force on me earlier. I hit send and sat back, letting the silence fill the space again. Minutes later, the real storm hit. The front door banged open, keys dropping on the floor. Amelia stormed in, hair messy, eyes blazing, phone still clutched in her hand. Oliver, why aren't you answering me? She demanded, voice sharp, shaking with a mix of fury and desperation. I didn't move from where I sat. I just looked at her, calmly, eyes steady. You were told not to come home, I said almost gently. Her jaw dropped, confusion and frustration warring in her gaze. I don't understand. I needed to talk. And I've been talking, I said. I've been silent. I've let you express yourself, and I've waited. I'm not reacting because that's what I want. I'm reacting because I need to protect myself, my peace, and my sanity. For a moment, the room was still. You could almost hear the tension vibrating in the air, thick and heavy. Then she burst into a flood of words, accusations, explanations, pleas, the kind of verbal torrent that comes from years of suppressed frustration and sudden panic. And I sat there, letting it wash over me, not responding, just listening. Each word she spat was evidence, proof, revelation, of her feelings, her intentions, her state of mind. I realized in that moment how much power we give to routine, to habit, to assumptions. We let years slide by thinking love will somehow self-sustain, and when it falters, we panic, we fight, we beg. But sometimes, the only way to reclaim your clarity is to let the other person confront the reality they've created themselves. Amelia finally paused, breathless, her energy spent. She looked at me, eyes wide, searching. And I could see the recognition dawning, that I wasn't going to chase her, that I wasn't going to crumble, that the line I had drawn wasn't negotiable. She had chosen the path. Now she had to navigate its consequences. I spoke then, softly, almost like a teacher explaining something to a student who was only beginning to understand. We've lost the rhythm of us, I said, and until we can figure out if we can find it again, calmly, honestly, without force or expectation, I need space. I need peace. And right now, that space is outside this house, not inside it. She opened her mouth, likely to argue, to demand, to plead. But then she saw something in my eyes. Not anger, not fear, not desperation, just clarity. A quiet certainty that had taken 12 years of understanding, compromise, heartbreak, and patience to form. And in that quiet, she understood that the fight she was trying to pick was one she could no longer win. She left, not quietly, not gently. She slammed the door, a punctuation mark on the chaos she had created. And for the first time in years, I exhaled fully. The house was silent again, but it felt different. Not empty, but still. Not oppressive, but calm. I realized then that boundaries, once drawn, are not walls meant to hurt or punish. They are lines meant to protect the self, lines meant to preserve what remains when love falters and respect is challenged. That night, as I sat alone in the quiet house, my phone resting silently on the table, I realized something profound. Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes power whispers in clarity, in patience, in measured silence. And for the first time in a long time, I felt it coursing through me. Steady, unshakable, and entirely mine.